it's James, and I've got a new bike. It's awesome, Bianchi Specialissima. It's a dream bike. And one of the things about this bike that's different from my old bike is this bike has a through axle. The way the front wheel attaches is different from my old bike. But that means that the fork mount I had for my old bike in our EKKO's gear garage is no longer going to work. So I need to come up with something else. Now, since we recently dumped all our propane, and I got about 100 pounds of weight savings when we installed our Timberline heat and hot water system, I feel like I got a little bit of weight to play with, so I am finally taking the plunge, and I'm going to install a pull-out tray for bikes in our EKKO's gear garage. Let me take you outside and show you what's going on. So this is how we store the bikes currently. So my bike would roll in, I'd pop the front tire off, put it up in this little net thing I made up here attached to the L-track in the gear garage, wheel the bike with its back wheel down this track, and then clip the fork mount in right there. So this isn't going to work with through axles because there's no way to get a through axle onto that. So I've got to come up with something else. So that's why we're going to do the gear tray. So this means also Steph's bike, which already had a through axle, I'm going to be removing that. Now the slides I've got, they're 60 inches long, they're 5 feet, which is about how long the bikes are with the front wheels off. So I'm going to have to clear the floor for 60 inches back that way. This has got to come out because the tray is going to sit up a little higher. There won't be room to get the bike to slide under that anymore with a wheel in it. All sorts of stuff going to be going on in here. I've given myself a couple constraints for this project. And the first constraint, and the most important one, is just like the current bike mounting, I am not going to mount anything permanently to the floor or walls in this RV to make this pull-out tray work. We also ski. And so I want to be able to remove the bike tray when we do winter activities or something where we don't need the bikes at all. So I'm going to mount it exclusively using this L-track. So that's one constraint. The next constraint is I don't want it to weigh too much. So even though I've got 100 pounds, I don't want to use it all up with the bike tray. And the slides themselves are already pretty heavy. So I'm really going to be trying to keep that weight down. So I'm sticking with aluminum and that sort of thing. And other than that, I'm giving myself free rein, but a lot of the stuff that I'm storing back here is going to have to be removed. Like these, right over here, come around this way. Here is where we store our director's chairs, the GCI EKKO chairs. The bikes won't fit on a tray. They won't fit underneath that. So this is going to have to come out. What I think I'm going to do here is take this out and move it over to this side of the garage so that we remove the chairs from that door instead of this back door, because there'll be a bike seat right up here. So a lot of reconfiguring going to happen, but I'm not mounting anything to the floor or walls to make this tray work. And this all starts with me pulling all this stuff out. So yay! And one for the fresh water. All right. My Wera Joker wrenches. There's even a bike on the tool roll. It's like karma. All right, 14 millimeters. Okay. Here's your bike computer.
Oh my gosh!
This has been lost for months.
Oh my gosh, I almost bought a new one. I'm so glad I waited.
Yay! So this project is already successful based on finding Steph's bike computer, because now we don't have to buy a new one. That's awesome. I've got everything removed. Should pop right out. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I just threw these together in the shop really quick. And what they are is they are meant to hold the drawer slides like this. And the idea is I really don't like to measure things too much, but I need to figure out where I'm going to support the drawer slides on the track. And so I made these to sort of hold the drawer slides in place. I made 4 of them, 2 for each side. And then I'm gonna be able to like move it around, make sure it's where I want it, make sure the drawer slides clear this lip. This is another consideration. I've got to clear this lip. So we're gonna make sure all that works before I actually commit to drilling any stock. See, my idea for this whole thing is I'm gonna take some aluminum channel and I'm gonna put it across the L track there. And I'm using this U channel because it won't bend, it won't flex while you're driving down the road. And then to that is ultimately how I'm going to mount the drawer slides. But I gotta figure out where to put it because there's only certain holes where you can mount the drawer slides. Long-winded explanation of saying I made something to hold the drawer slides. Anyway.
Let's see if it fits.
Okay. Come on. Come to Papa. Yeah. Now this is some super beefy aluminum angle, 4 inches. It's a 1/4 inch thick. My idea is to cut an 1 3/4 piece off. Haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. And put it in there, and then I can secure it as well with this same bolt. Yeah. And then I can mount, the reason I wanted it this thick is so that I can just tap this aluminum so I don't have to worry about trying to put nuts on the back side of it. I don't have to hold it still while I get a nut on the back. I'm just gonna cut threads right into the aluminum. So I'm gonna put it right there, giving me as much room as possible here. That's the plan. Okay, so I had to go and buy a new tool, so this project is already a success. I'm okay with cutting little pieces of aluminum by hand, but this is a 1/4 inch and 8 inches in length, and that was going to take all day, so now we have this spark generator. Yeah, so it's the first time I've tried to cut anything with it. We'll see how it goes. That's hot. We're not going to touch that, but it looks fine. We'll come back in a half hour and cut the next one. Ba-bam. Fits right in there. Going to be perfect. It's not going to rotate. That's what I'm looking for. So I've got this more or less done. This is what's going to hold the drawer slides. But just due to the way the track fell and where everything came together, this hole for the L track is right near the edge, and it's kind of a curve, you know, where it doesn't come in like a straight right angle. There's a little bit of curve. And so I'm having trouble tightening the nuts onto the L track. And so what I'm trying to do is use my absolute least favorite tool in the world, the Dremel tool, to grind this out just so I've got a flat that I can adequately tighten the nut down on. But it's like really more than this Dremel can take. It's like 200 degrees. That's why I'm wearing gloves. Anyway, that. So this is probably about as far as I'm going to get today. So day one, these aren't in. They're just kind of sitting there. But these are the brackets, front and back, that are going to hold the drawer slides. Got the aluminum in there. These are secured down. So now all I have to do is I've got to drill and tap 4 holes in these so that I can mount these drawer slides to these aluminum uprights. And then I get to worry about how to make a shelf or something in between. I got to attach something to there, and I got about a 17.5 inch wide shelf. That should be plenty wide. The bike gurney, remember that years ago? The bike gurney, that was only 18 inches wide, and we didn't use all of it, so I think this will be fine. And these should clear, well, when I get them another 1/2 inch higher, like that is how high they should be. And then they clear the door, no problem. So, there we go. It's really hot. Like my tools get so hot that I can't touch them. It's crazy hot out here, but we're making progress. All right. See you in the morning. So we're on day 2, and I've marked the holes on these uprights where I want to mount the drawer slides. And so now I am tapping holes. And so now I should be able to just thread a screw directly into that. Ta-da! That'll make it a lot easier to mount the drawer slides. Aha! Ha! That's not going anywhere. There. Look at that. It lines up. How often do I get that lucky? Only every day I'm married to you.
I'm the lucky one.
Believe it or not, that's as far as I wanted to get tonight. I didn't think I'd make it that far. I'll take it. Okay, today's after-school project in the shop, I'm going to build a drawer tray to go in the drawer tray, whatever, 60 inches long by this much wide. I think it's like 17 and a half, 18 inches, somewhere in there. I've got some cedar I'm going to use for the drawers, for the sides, and some plywood inside that I'll bring out for the bottoms. That's about it. Let's get to work. That'll work. Hey, I've got the day off work today, so we're going to try to get a bunch of stuff done here. First, I'm going to finish up this drawer slash tray, whatever. I'm going to put some rubber material in the bottom of it, get it mounted up on the slides. That's number one. Number two, I've got to get the actual bikes mounted on the tray so that they clear the door, so that they clear the other stuff we've got in the gear garage. So that's number two. And number three, I've got to reclaim the storage that we have up top. So currently we have our lawn chairs, our EKKO director chairs stored up overhead. That's not going to work because I've raised the bikes a couple inches. They're going to hit those chairs when they go in and out. So I'm going to have to relocate that and move it someplace else. I've got an idea for that. I've got some channel and some miscellaneous hardware here. We're going to try to get that done today as well, and that will wrap it up. So wish me luck. Let's get going. Expanded in the heat. Wow. For the fork mount on the bike, we've got these little things from EKKO Gear Company. They hold the through axle kind of in like that and it clamps down. That's great, but I've got to mount them to the tray. So after much wrestling with bikes and trying to get them to where they didn't bang into each other and whatnot, kind of got the spots marked out where they go. So now I just got to drill holes and mount them up. Here we go. For the back wheels, I'm thinking about trying these. Hornet Klug. This is a Klug Pro. So it just holds the back wheel by friction like that. And then this has a little thing you can snap in there, and then it's kind of like a boa to tighten it up if you want to tighten it up. But I think it would hold the wheel in just fine just like that. So that would go kind of like that. Then I just secure that to the tray. So this is like the never-ending bolt. It seems like I only had to move this a couple inches to miss the seats. So our overhead lawn chair storage is going to be almost just like about 8 or 9 inches over from where it was. So that's pretty good. Okay, so we're done, and I must be losing my touch because we're going on a trip in a few days, and normally I don't finish my projects until like 30 minutes before we're supposed to go, but I'm done like a whole 2 days early. So here's what we got. So we have this 60-inch long tray, pulls all the way out, and then for mounting the forks, we have these little doodads from EKKO Gear Company, right there. It just opens with a thumb screw, and the through axle goes in there. You know, you get a new bike and you kind of think you're done, but you're not, right? And first I got a new seat, and now I'm into this like tray thing just to be able to bring it along. So one thing I had to kind of, so for the back tires, we've got these little things, the Hornet Klug kind of thing. It just kind of holds the back tire in there by friction, but it's enough to keep it from bouncing out. So that's how we're keeping the back tire in place. Now, the wheels, these are the same wheel holders that I used to have on the bike gurney from way back when. I took them off, I mounted them here. But to mount a non-quick release wheel, I had to get a little creative. Whoops. So ultimately what I did is I just got some 5/16 inch carriage bolts. See the carriage bolt there? And then I 3D printed a little sleeve to go around it. And I screwed the carriage bolt through the sleeve. And I did that to avoid kind of chewing up with the threads, you know, chewing up the inside of my wheel. But in this wheel holder, the flats on the carriage bolt wind up and sit in the slot. It's right over on this side. See if you can come up and see that. So the flats on the carriage bolt are in that slot, and they keep the bolt from turning, right? So then on this side, I can just take this little star knob that I had and there we go. And the wheel is on there, it's not gonna come off. This spins on pretty easily. I think this is actually quicker than having to thread a quick release skewer on there and do that. This actually is a little bit faster, I think. So there we go. The good news, the other unstated goal. So a couple other things. We do have a little bit of storage space that's left underneath here. And I've got just right now our bike locks thrown under there, but we've got this much storage space under there. So we can put some flatter things up under there. This whole thing could come out. There are just 4 bolts into the L-track holding this thing in place. Cool. Our chairs are back here right where they were, except just 8 inches to the left. Other than that, the seats come right to there, and other than that, they fit fine. And the big win is that we have enough space now to bring, I haven't even taken it out of the box, we have enough space to bring along our new kayak, and it fits with the tray, and we even have a little space left over here. So all in all, I'm calling this a pretty successful project. I'll put links to some of the things that I used, those that you can get on Amazon and other online retailers, like these drawer slides. The drawer slides you use are very important. You have to have ones that are able to carry the load and that are ball bearing, yada, yada, yada. I'll put links to all the stuff that I can over on thefitrv.com in a post that I'll link in the YouTube description down below, so you can grab some of this stuff for yourself and work on your own bike tray. That's gonna do it for now. We got a trip to go on, but like in 2 days, so I'm done early. Anyway, this is James from the Fit RV. See you later. Bye.